The movement for change have any concerns they would want addressed at the next IPAC meeting?
A couple of general observations. If the calendar I've seen put out on social media today is the right calendar, then it means that it's very little different from what happened in the 2020 elections. And the bottom line then means that we are looking at how the Electoral Commission engenders trust and confidence in its activities. So for that purpose, as far as the movement for change is concerned, I think we need to emphasize that the 56-day information period, the public education period, ought to be filled not only with admonitions to the population to go and register and vote, but with also education and understanding about what the Electoral Commission actually does by law as its duty. And in that sense, it's important that people are educated about how people qualify, how candidates qualify, aspirants qualify during nominations, and the criteria for disqualifying or otherwise. Because it's a lot of propaganda on the ground now going on about the probability that Mr. Alan Kyerematen, the founder and leader of the Movement for Change, who is going to be running as an independent candidate, will be disqualified because he's an independent candidate. And people are susceptible, people are anxious, people are worried about such kinds of propaganda and information, which may be misconstrued, may not be true, but if the EC itself does not respond to some of that, at some point, then it creates the impression that indeed it's true. So I would want to see during the EC's education, not only issues about how to queue up and vote and who is eligible to queue up and write their names in the register, but also how they manage the nomination process and who is qualified to be nominated and the elements for nomination. Finally, I expect the EC to address the now very dynamic electoral space because it's not only dominant political parties or smaller political parties. You now have movements, you have individuals who are powerful, who are substantive, and who are part of the process. And once they will be accepted at nomination, who need to be represented in the decision-making processes leading up to the elections. So if EC is running IPAC for the benefit of the parties as a consultative process, then it is important that EC looks at how it can bring independent candidates on board the IPAC process.
You've mentioned that there are rumors running around that Alan Kyerematen is likely to be disqualified, but he will not be the first to go independent. Where are you hearing those rumors from?
Are we talking about politics 101 here? They are not rumors. You hear them on the media all the time. It's deliberate, intentional propaganda to limit the chances of Mr. Kyerematen. People, gullible voters, are attacked by such situations. The people go around trying to persuade potential voters, potential supporters of the butterfly movement, the movement for change, and potential supporters of Mr. Kyerematen, those who intend to vote for Mr. Kyerematen as an independent, that in the case of Mr. Kyerematen, there's a plot afoot to disqualify him. They are not talking about all independents. They are targeting Mr. Kyerematen, that there's a plot, a thick plot between the incumbent government and the Electoral Commission to disqualify him, and therefore supporting him is not useful. You will lose your vote if you support him. So why bother to support him? Stay where you are, vote for who you have, because in the end, if he's going to be disqualified, then you waste your vote. This is intentional, deliberate propaganda. It's not generalized. It's not a mere rumor. It is intentional, deliberate propaganda that is being carried out by persons in whose interest Mr. Kyerematen does not win this vote.
Right.
So it is something that the Electoral Commission ought to consciously address in terms of qualification and otherwise. But their name is being mentioned. They are being joined to the incumbent government and party as the ones who are in collusion to attack Mr. Kyerematen and disqualify him.